Hey guys, welcome back to Bonita Lifestyle Podcast. Hey guys, what is up? Today's episode is coming to you straight from Bonita Lifestyle headquarters, aka my house, aka my garage today. I'm not in my room today because I have a little person in there today, aka my teenager. She won't get out of my room. I'm like, girl, you have your own room. Go to your room. Anyways, she loves being in there. So today I'm like, okay, I guess the garage it is for today's episode. And it's all good. It's kind of peaceful in here, actually. I feel like I'm more like in a studio today. I feel like it's a giant studio. You know, it hits the vibe. Anyways, today let's talk. Let's see. I got some questions for us today. Well, not my questions, but questions that women ask the most. And I want to answer them, based on my experiences. So today's episode is close to my heart because I know so many of us, especially as women, we carry silent questions. We smile through the chaos. We hold it all together. But deep down, there are things we wonder, things we struggle with, and things we wish someone could just answer honestly. So today I want to show up for you like the friend, sister, or voice I wish I had during some of my own hard seasons. These are some of the most asked questions women have, and I'm not coming to you with perfection. Not at all in any way, but with realness, experience, and love. Whether you're healing, growing, glowing, or just arriving today, I see you, girl. Let's talk about it. So for the first few questions, so I have like different categories. So I'll have some questions based on relationships and dating, and other questions based on mental health and the inner work, and other questions on purpose and confidence. And the last questions would be on self-love, glow up, and journey. So let's get into it, girls. Let's check it out. What's going on here? How are you guys? I hope you guys are having an awesome day, morning, night, lo que sea. Here we are. Well, I'm off today, so this is one thing I like to do, honestly. Like, I look forward to recording, talking about, life stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's, like, for me, it's the highlight of my week. Getting to record for you guys so that you guys could help you guys with, with anything my episodes are about, because I feel like my main thing that I like to talk about is life and growth and being a mom. I can't say too much on dating because I'm not in that world right now, and I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. Like, honestly, like, I'm so into myself, into my growth, into like growing my podcast, and it just gives me that spark to keep living. Like, when you have the purpose of doing something that is going to add value to the lives of others, I don't know, for some reason it makes you feel alive. Like, I've never done something like this before. I never knew like I would want to do something like this until I got introduced to podcasts, and I obsess over podcasts. I feel like it's such a good way to learn and grow. I mean, depending on what you like to listen to. And I feel like even like the funny ones, like, you have so much to learn. Like I don't know, I love to like extract like little lessons and little gold nuggets from like every like podcast that I like to listen to. And it's not all like personal growth or nothing like that, but like what I hear, like, I don't know, I have like an ear to hear like gold nuggets that I'm like, oh, I could apply that in my life. Like, like I see life in such a different way now that it took me a long time to actually get here. Like, I didn't even know, like, I wanted to, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I never knew, like, life could get this good. Like, when you work on yourself, like, life could get really good. Like, when you do that inner work, like, and like, you finally find yourself and you know yourself, like, you literally learn from, like, anything and anybody. Like, you're like more of an observer instead of like being judgmental. Like, you become like this student of life. Basically, you become a student of life. Like, everything like teaches you something, and you try to extract like the good in everything, no matter how bad it is, no matter how rough of a season you could be in. Like, you remind yourself that those are the moments that are going to build you. Those are the moments that build you, shape you into a stronger version of you, the one that you want to become. So when we're facing like struggle and pain, like, see it as something good, because it's good. As painful as it is, as painful as the process is, it's a good thing, because those are the moments, like, really, those are the moments that shape us and transform us into a better version of us. So yeah, girls, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about, let's answer some questions on relationships and dating. Okay, first question. Why do I keep attracting the wrong kind of partner? I feel like this is a very common question in all of us girls. And I feel like when we're in that season where we keep attracting, and you know what, as wrong as it may seem, as, there's a lesson there. Like, nobody comes into our life as an accident. Nothing is an accident. Everything is meant to happen. Everything is meant to be. As bad as it could be. But because, for example, you meet the wrong person, and you go through this bad heartbreak, they're not who you thought they could be. And the thing is, sometimes we go into relationships expecting too much of the person when we don't really know them. Like, we think, oh, like, you see some red flags, you ignore them. So then you're like, you know what, maybe they could be this, let me give it time. And honestly, I feel like ignoring, and that comes from my experience, ignoring red flags is not cool. So learn that from the first interactions you have with a person. If you see red flags, if you see things you don't like, don't just ignore them. If you could ask any questions, ask, because you're not just investing your time, you're investing your energy, your whole person, and you don't want to waste your time, especially if you're in an age where, like me, like, I'm gonna be 40 this year. I feel like once we're like over 30, like, we shouldn't be wasting our time, our energy just on anybody. If you keep meeting the wrong people, start working on yourself. Like, ask yourself, okay, why do I keep attracting this person? Like, what in me keeps attracting a person like this? Maybe you're focused on the wrong things. Sometimes we focus more on the looks than personality, than other things that really are important. Like, I don't even know the words to it. Like, honestly, not even in Spanish. ¿Cómo se dice? Because it's not just the looks. Looks is part of it, because you don't want somebody that you're not physically attracted to either. You want somebody you're physically, mentally, and emotionally attracted to. So if you're with somebody, you're trying to, like, maybe you come across somebody that, okay, maybe they check off 2 of those boxes that you look for in a man. Really think about it. Like, that's one thing about me, like, from my experiences on relationships, on love, like, I'm not ignoring the red flags anymore. If that person, look, because they could say, oh, like, I'm like this, I'm like that, like, don't go by their words, go by their actions, because the actions are louder than the words. They could tell you all the pretty things in the world, te bajan la luna y las estrellas, saying, oh, like, I'm like this, I'm like that, I don't, like, they try to, make themselves look good. But when it really comes to, like, action, like, really, like, pay attention to that, because sometimes their words do not match their actions, and that's a big red flag. So, like, check those things and really work on yourself. If you feel like you keep attracting, like, not the kind of man you want, check yourself. Like, focus on yourself for a while before you enter another relationship. Don't just go jumping around relationships thinking, okay, maybe the next one, because you're gonna keep attracting the same kind of person, because you keep, like, who you are is who you attract. So if you are not good to yourself, emotionally not there for yourself, or mentally not there for yourself, like, whoever you attract is gonna be the same with you. They're not gonna be emotionally there for you. They're not gonna understand you. They're not gonna feel attracted to you, because you're not attracted to yourself. And how we become attracted to ourselves is by working on ourselves, holding space for ourselves, our emotions, our, like, everything, emotionally, mentally, physically, like, being there. Like, work on yourself, feed your mind the right things, work out, eat good. I mean, those are, like, the simple ones. But, like, when it comes to, like being emotionally there for yourself, like, really hold that space for yourself, because if you don't learn how to hold that space for yourself, nobody will. Okay, we kind of went long on that question. I got fired up because I'm like, hell no, like, like, I get a little triggered there with that questions, because when it comes to dudes, like, I don't know, honestly, I've even asked myself, will I ever want to date again? Like, I've been asking myself that question lately, and I really don't. I feel like I'm so in love with my progress, with building this podcast, growing the podcast, and like, working on myself, like, keep working on myself. I'm in love with working on myself, like, reading the books, doing my daily tasks, of like my non-negotiables, working out, drinking my water, reading, reading, what else is on my list? Keeping following a diet. Like, don't get crazy with not eating right. So, like, I like to have that on my daily priorities, because if I don't put it, I feel like I start falling off track, and I'm like, oh, let me eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So no, like, I have my 5 daily priorities to keep following. And then my other one, I think I said 4. My other one is wake up early. Yeah, I think those are my 5. Wake up early, drink my water, read 10 pages of a book, work out, and follow a diet. So those are my 5 daily non-negotiables. And I feel proud of myself for keeping for keeping my promises to myself, and that's what builds the self-confidence. So whatever journey you're in, girl, like keep going. If one thing doesn't work, because sometimes there's things that other, you could get inspired, but like from others, and like, but like really pay attention to like your goals, your needs, and then build on that. Like what are your goals, like in yourself, like, or maybe in your job, like your career or something, like add goals that would help you become better in maybe your career, maybe your workout, whatever. I feel like adding goals like that is what helps us build confidence, self-belief, yeah. I kind of went off track on that one, but yes. Okay, next question. Is it okay to be single in my 30s, 40s when everyone else seems to be married? Girl, it is okay. It is okay. And I could say that now because I'm gonna enter my 40s. And I used to feel bad. Like, I remember when I turned 35, I went into like this depression moment in my 35s because I did not see myself single. Like, I thought like, okay, by 35, like I'm already gonna have, I'm gonna be in a good, healthy relationship, have my own house, like live on my own, and like have like a good partner, like, because I feel like that's like everybody's goal is to have somebody, but honestly the real goal is to have the best relationship with yourself. That should be the main goal. And I wish I knew this when I was younger, because my life could have been way different now. But you know what, I do not regret it, because everything I've been through in my life has shaped me into the person I am now. Like, I don't regret anything anymore like I used to. I used to feel like sorry for myself, thinking, why did I go through this, or why did I like become a single mom? Like, I carried like so much shame and guilt around that, because I was a single mom at a very young age. I was 26, and I remember like carrying so much shame and guilt. I didn't know how to work on myself. I didn't even know there was such thing. And I thought, okay, like, maybe later on, like at the beginning, I didn't even feel like dating. Like, I was like, whatever, I'm gonna focus on my kids. And my thing was my kids. Like, never did I think, oh, like work on me, do things to work on my mental health, on my emotional health. Like, I did not know that. But seriously, if you're single, if you're 30 and single, or 40, 50 and single, don't feel bad. I feel like sometimes, even people that are in relationships, they may look happy, but on the inside, we don't know. Sometimes it's better to be single and be good with ourselves than to be in a relationship and be miserable, because sometimes that happens too. And I feel like that happens a lot, because a lot of people, especially when we have kids, we think that we have to stay in that relationship forever because we have kids, and because we worry about what others are gonna think if we split, And honestly, I feel like that's the worst thing we could do to ourselves, because it also affects our children. Like, you could feel like you're hiding these things, but we honestly can. Like, we become more and more miserable. And I'm telling you this because when I was before I got separated, I tried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna save my relationship. I didn't even know how. Like, maybe getting therapy, like if you get therapy or couples therapy, I feel like that is cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know about that back then. If I probably thought, of that back then, I could have we could have probably taken, couples therapy, things would have been different. But okay, the point is not to like regret or what could have been and wasn't, because it wasn't meant to be. But if you're in a relationship and you feel that you have to stay with that person because you've been with them for so long, like, it doesn't have to be like that. Don't make yourself miserable. Like, love yourself enough to stand up for yourself. Respect yourself enough. I feel like self-respect is not talked about a lot, and I feel like self-respect is one of the major big things that we all need to work on, so that we never settle for less, so that we never accept things that we're not okay with, because most of the time we don't respect ourselves enough to like say no to things, or to say, or to set healthy boundaries, or to not let people walk all over us. And it takes a lot of self-respect, but yeah, definitely being single in your 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s, it is perfectly okay. I feel like people that do get to that marriage, and you could get married even at 40, any age. I feel like there's no age for it. Like, I feel like we get so consumed in like, and yes, like sometimes we, like, I even like think like, man, like I'm already gonna be 40, like, and you do think like, man, like I don't want to get married again, or you feel like maybe that's not meant for you, or so if you feel like that too, like, that is okay. Like, I feel like that sometimes. I'm like, but honestly, because I'm not focused on like wanting to be with anybody and date, like I used to feel lonely because I didn't know how to be with myself though. So like I learned that like loving myself and working on myself has been more like important than finding somebody. It's like, why do I want to waste my time finding somebody if I haven't found myself? Like, now I see things way different. So yeah, like it is okay to be single at whatever age you're at. If some others get married before you, good, like wish them good. Because also, like, if you're like, oh, like fuck them, like why them and not me, then you're making things worse, because then you're basically wishing that upon yourself. Whatever you wish on others, even if it's good or bad, it comes back to you. So think about that too. Okay, next question. How do I stop settling for less than I deserve? By respecting yourself. That's how you stop settling for less. When you start respecting yourself, loving yourself, that's when you will not settle for less again. And honestly, like, it takes those hard moments though. It takes those moments where you fall so hard, you get so heartbroken that you're like, you know what? Never again. This is why now I say like bad things when they happen, like heartbreak, like when bad things like that happen to us, now I see it as a blessing in disguise. Because if it's not for those ugly moments that we fall in life, we wouldn't know like what to do next. We wouldn't know our worth. We wouldn't know what not to tolerate, what not to accept, what not to settle for. Like, those are the moments that teach us, you know what? I don't want this. I don't want this kind of relationship. I do not want to settle for this ever again. And that's when like real growth happens. Like, you're like, you know what? Never again. And that doesn't mean being scared, to try again, but like take those moments to really, work on yourself and take those lessons. Don't be like, oh, like maybe the next person. No, like take pause and be like, you know what? I'm going to work on myself, because I don't want to attract this kind of person anymore. And focus on what you want, on your goals, on your priorities, and you'll see how your life starts to change for the good, because you start seeing like the positive in that ugly moment, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, next question. Should I forgive someone who hurt me even if they're not sorry? That's I feel like that question really. Okay, should I forgive someone who hurt me even if they're not sorry? I feel like that's one of the hardest pills to swallow, but you do have to like work on that. And it doesn't mean it's easy, because it took me a while too to forgive, you know, the people that had hurt me in the past, from broken relationships. It took me a while. Like, I felt so bitter, but I was like, I feel like I was probably more hurt with myself for accepting so little, because I didn't have that self-respect. This is where self-respect connects, because when we don't love and respect ourselves, we settle, we let people walk all over us, and then we end up feeling like shit, heartbroken, because we didn't put, we didn't set healthy boundaries. We were settling for less, and so, like, totally forgiving someone who did not say sorry, that's gonna give you your power back. And I say it from my experience, because when I was like, okay, you know what? For a long time, I expected, people that broke my heart to apologize. And I was like, why am I gonna wait for them to apologize? Why? Like, what I need to do is forgive myself for settling for less, for tolerating things I wasn't okay with. I need to forgive myself for those things. And when you learn to forgive yourself from those, decisions you probably made that, took you to a path where, like, well, you got heartbroken or whatever, it takes that self-forgiveness for you to forgive whoever broke your heart, basically. Because, I mean, I say it from my experience, because I was like, for years I was expecting, a sorry, and I never got it. And I'm like, why will I wait? What if that person dies and, and I'm still waiting? Like, why? No. Like, and I remember that moment when I said to myself, you know what? They don't need to say sorry for me to forgive. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forgive myself for settling for less, for tolerating things I wasn't okay with. And slowly, but I had to practice that consistently, because sometimes you feel like you forgive, and then again you feel that, oh, why did this happen, or so then again you have to forgive, and then remind yourself, I forgive myself, because sometimes when we hold, I mean, sometimes there's wounds that take constant forgiveness. So it's not one time and that's it. So don't feel bad if you feel like you have you keep reliving certain you keep reliving certain past pains, it's part of the process. Honestly, I used to think once I heal this, I'm gonna be okay. No, it happens, or it's constantly. Sometimes there's wounds that are so deep that it takes a lot more. Maybe you feel good about it one day, and then the next month or something, you again feel triggered about that same pain, whatever it was. So it's okay. It's a process, and just learn to forgive yourself. If you feel like you haven't forgiven somebody for something, or you're waiting for somebody to ask for your forgiveness, don't waste your time, and just forgive yourself for tolerating what you weren't supposed to. Okay, next question. how do I start dating again after a toxic relationship? Whoa, even that question is for me. How do I start dating again after a toxic relationship? Me and you both, girl. Me and you both. Like, how? Like, honestly, my answer to that, because like I think about that for myself too, like how do, like, what do I do? And I've told myself, you know what, like, I'm gonna keep working on myself, working on my heart, to be able to attract, good experiences, good people, because it does take the inner work for us to attract better in our lives. So if you've been in a toxic relationship where you were so disrespected and you gave it your all, don't feel bad, because I'm that kind of person too. Like, I care so much and I like to overgive, but then sometimes that overgiving is what gets us in trouble, right? Because then they start taking advantage of us. They start, taking us for granted. They start, disrespecting us because they expect that we're gonna be like that all the time. So I feel like working on ourselves, working on our self-worth, because when we feel that we're not worthy of a good person in our lives, we're always going to be attracting the same person. So when you find yourself, when you feel that, okay, you know what, not because I've been in ugly relationships, or not because I look a certain way, it doesn't mean I'm not worthy. Because sometimes I feel like we attach even our worth to how we look, or stuff like that. Like I see that a lot. Like, we attach our worth, like, oh, well, I'm not good enough because I don't have, like, I'm not sexy enough, or my hair, or my skin, or this and that. Because I used to feel like shit too, like, because I had a lot of hormonal acne at some point in my life, and I felt so ugly, so like shit, and I attached my worth to that. I was like, oh, like, no man will like me because I'm ugly, because I have so much acne. So what happens, like, you lower your self-worth because of that. Like, so don't lower your self-worth based on how you look. Like shine your light, like, however that looks like your worth does not depend on how you look physically. It's more internally, because if you notice, like, there could be, like, there's people that they're not attractive, but their energy is attractive because they love themselves for who they are. So if there's things that you can't change, yeah, if you're fat and you could change that, then change it. But if there's things that you can't change, learn to love yourself. Learn to love those things that you can't change, and don't attach your worth to that too. Like, so yeah, like, work on yourself so much, and then think about, like, entering a relationship. I feel like I'm in that path, because I'm like, I really, like, honestly, like, I have so, like, I feel like I'm at an age where, like, I have, like, low tolerance in so many things. I have low tolerance in bullshit. I have low tolerance in disrespect. I have low tolerance in people that don't work on themselves, because I'm like, okay, everybody's different, but when it comes to, like, relationships, I don't want to babysit somebody. Like, if I ever start dating again, I want that person to feel whole within themselves, not like me fill their cup, not me make them feel good. Like, I want them to be so good with themselves that they don't need me to, like, make them feel good about anything. Like, because it's our job as individuals to do that for ourselves. Like, and then share it with somebody. It's like, share your wholeness with somebody. Don't be like half assing things and expect the other person to do the rest, because that's not how it works. Because even in relationships, there's times where like they're not gonna be 100%, and then that's when you might have to pour a little more because they're not okay in, you know, whatever season they're in life, you know. And that's how you come together, support each other. But it's not like just give, because then there's no self-love or self-respect there. It's like, it's our job as individuals to do that for ourselves and then share it with others or with a partner. So yeah, what was the question? See, I get so lost in the sauce. Let's see. How do I start dating again after a toxic relationship? Yeah, so just basically work on yourself before you try to enter another relationship. Like have that self inventory and ask yourself, okay, what did I do to attract this person? And work on those things. Okay, maybe, you know, I'm not fully there for myself, or maybe I'm toxic too, you know, I'm a super jealous person. Work on that. If you feel like you're a super jealous person, you probably are not confident in yourself, so then you doubt yourself a lot to feel, you know, like that. So like work on your insecurities basically, and then from there, you know, whatever else you feel like made you attract that person. But honestly, it takes self-respect to really not lower your standards. It takes that self-respect to attract better in your life. Like honestly, like even though I'm not dating, like I've attracted like better people in my life, better friendships, more people that are, you know, that like the kind of stuff I like, and they respect me because I respect myself. So you'll attract how you are with yourself basically, if that makes sense. Okay, next question. Okay, let's go on to some mental health and inner work questions. Okay, it says, why do I feel like I'm never enough even when I'm doing my best? Why do I feel like I'm never enough even when I'm doing my best? I feel like you need to give yourself more credit, girl. Give yourself more credit and keep stacking your wins, and you will feel better. Like I feel like that's one thing that has worked for me, is to like have my daily priorities to which is my self-respect for me, you know, like my daily non-negotiables are my daily priorities. And when I do those things for myself, that's how I build my self-confidence. So start there. Start by, you know, having your daily priorities, your 5 or 3 daily priorities that you knock out every day, so that you could build that self-confidence. Because I feel like when we feel like we do so much and we feel like it's not enough, it's because we lack self-confidence. So whatever you're doing and you're doing your best, that is good. Give yourself more credit. Okay, next question. How do I deal with anxiety, especially when I feel overwhelmed by life? That's a good question. Life could be chaotic sometimes, and sometimes when we overload our plate too, like of things to do, or sometimes just life be lifing, you know. Our relationships feel like they're falling apart, you know, and that could really, you know, create anxiety, you know, make you feel depressed, sad. And honestly, it's part of life. Like that's one thing I've learned to control in myself, because when I'm going through it, when I feel like life is lifing, I just really take that moment to pause and reconnect to myself. like pause, like put your phone to the side and take that moment, that silent moment to yourself, to acknowledge how you feel. And if you need to, like, one thing I like to do is, like, when I really feel like my life is like falling apart, going out for walks, like, that's my medicine. I feel like being like on an outdoor workout, like, it's really really powerful. Like, I'm not trying to be cringe, but I am. No, like, seriously, like, I feel like when I have those moments where, like, sometimes you need to disconnect yourself. Sometimes you're probably trying to pour so much on other people that you forget to pour on yourself. And that's when you get overwhelmed, you burn out, you get exhausted, and you feel anxious because in the process of giving here, giving there, you know, maybe you're a mom, you're a girlfriend, a wife, that you forget to fill your cup. Whatever that looks like for you. If that looks like, okay, like getting your coffee in the morning and having that coffee by yourself to connect with yourself, fucking do it. Like, I love coffee. And those are one of the things. My favorite part of the day is going for my coffee and having my breakfast, like making my little breakfast, and like I put like a YouTube video or like a podcast, and while I'm cooking my breakfast, I'm listening to a podcast or I'm watching a YouTube video that, you know, inspires me or makes me happy. Like, that's my moment to myself. That's how I connect to myself. And then, yeah, like, then you, like, when your kids wake up, or maybe your spouse, you know, like, have that moment for yourself before, you know, overgiving or giving to, like, even your kids. Because sometimes we feel like we forget so much about ourselves because we're like, oh no, like, my kids come first. And it's like you end up exhausting yourself. And what happens next? You yell at them, you're like not the best, and then that's not cool. So whatever fills your cup, if you feel like going out for a walk in the morning, or getting your coffee, or having your yummy breakfast, or your whatever that helps you feel better, and take a moment to pause and be grateful even for the bad moments. That helps me a lot, to be grateful even for the bad moments, because, like, I remind myself, like, when I'm going through it, when life is lifing, I remind myself, you know what? Life is not happening to me, it's happening for me. This is, you know, transforming me into a better version of me. Maybe I can't see it now. It's painful. It's not cool. You know, like, this person is irritating me, or this thing in my career is overwhelming me. But you know what? Just take those moments and remember that life is happening for you, not to you. And yeah, just have those moments to yourself so that you could reconnect with yourself, so you could keep pouring to others. You know, like, we have to learn to fill our cups first and then others. Okay, next question. Why is it so hard to break old habits or mindsets? It's hard when we don't do it for a long period of time, because this is the key to building strong habits and, like, positive mindsets, like strong mindsets. It takes work. It's not easy. And most of the time we give up as soon as it gets hard. And that's where we fuck up. Because as soon as we feel discomfort, we feel like it's hard, we feel like we just want to give up, and we end up giving up instead of keep going, no matter how hard, no matter how tired you are, no matter how stressed you are. It's those moments that really set the foundation for those strong habits and that strong mindset. So like, as long as you keep quitting when it's hard, you're always gonna feel like shit. Like you have to push harder in those moments when it's hard. That's where you build the strength. It's like when we work out, we feel so much pain when we maybe lift weights or when we run, like we're out of breath and like we just want to like stop because we want to catch our breath and like we want to like give up instead of keep going. Like that's how life is too. Like when we're facing like the hardest moments of our lives, you know, like when it comes to building like healthy habits, strong mindset, like don't give up on yourself when it gets hard. Like if you set yourself like maybe in a month, you're like, okay, like I'm gonna do this every day, or I'm gonna do this 5 times a week, you know, and you know that's gonna build like a strong habit, because like they say, like it takes 21 days to build a habit, but I feel like it takes longer, because it really does take like a long period of time for you to like build a healthy habit and a strong mindset. It takes like repeating that over and over to become a healthy habit, to become your way of living. Like it's hard, but not because it's hard that means you quit. That's one thing I've learned, and I like to tell my kids is like, not because something is hard that means we quit. We push harder. Maybe sometimes we do need to rest, but don't quit. Don't quit. Like if you have to rest, learn to rest, not quit. Oh, I saw that quote somewhere. Learn to rest, not quit. Yeah, that's freaking cool. I just remember that quote. So yeah, it's hard, but just keep going, guys. Next question. How do I stop comparing myself to other women online? I feel like that comparing ourselves to other women, it could be good, but it could be like not good. It's good if you're trying to like, okay, like I wanna like when you get inspired from somebody with what they're doing, with what they're building, you know. If you compare yourself a lot though in a toxic way where like you put yourself down, that's not healthy. But if you compare yourself like, oh, like how can I, you know, be like that, like, you know, if you get inspired in that way and like want to change to be a better you, that's a good way to like see comparison. But if you're doing it to like put yourself down and beat yourself up because you're not at their level or whatever, you know, you also have to think like the work they do behind doors is what has got them there. So if you're not doing the work, then start doing the work. But yeah, like comparing ourselves, I feel like that's normal. Like, but when it comes to like, yeah, like I said, putting ourselves down, then that's not cool. But I don't think it's like a bad thing, even though sometimes I think like comparison is a thief of joy. It could be if you're doing it in a bad way, but if you're doing it like, oh shoot, like how can I be like that, or how can I get better like that, then it motivates you to be better, not to put yourself down. But yeah, just work on yourself and you'll see that maybe that person that, you know, you're comparing yourself online, and sometimes it's not even all true. Like they say, like don't believe everything you see online, you know. That's also a thing, because sometimes they make things look pretty, but in reality, I like the people that really show their struggles and yet like and they inspire others, you know. I don't know, but yeah. How do I stop comparing myself to other women online? So yeah, I mean, it's not about stopping. It's more of about, I mean, because I feel like we all do it, but like as long as you do it like to better yourself, like, oh sure, like she looks good, or I like what she does, like how can I do that, or how can I get better, and then work on yourself. Like don't see things like, oh, like they're out of your, like you can't do that, like, because I feel like what other people do, it's possible also for us if we do the work. It's not like, oh, like wishing for it and just, it's not gonna land on our laps, just because we wish for it. Like we have to do the work too. And yeah. Okay, next question. Okay, let's go to some. Okay, one more question. Can I truly heal from childhood trauma or rejection? I feel like we all could heal anything. We could all heal anything. When we reach a mindset of you're not a victim for going through hard things, when we reach a mindset of life is happening for me and not to me, you start seeing like you start seeing like your childhood traumas or rejections as an opportunity to grow and heal. Because like for me, I had a lot of like childhood, like I was rejected. I felt super rejected like growing up, because I felt like I wasn't being loved the way I wanted to be loved. Like I felt judged, rejected. So that created a lot of self-worth wounds in me. I had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of how do you say it? Like a really distorted like way of seeing myself, but because of the way I grew up, like, but when you, like I said, when you reach, like, we could all heal anything when we really put our hearts and minds to it. Like we could all heal anything, and it takes a lot of work, yes, but it's not impossible. Like I was able to heal those wounds, like my childhood wounds of feeling not worthy, of not feeling valuable, of feeling rejected, like as a child or a teenager, because sometimes we also carry wounds of like when we're teenagers, so it's also remembering that our caregivers, they did the best they could with what they knew, like having that compassion, like, you know what, it's because a person that hurts another person, they're also hurt. Like hurt people hurt people. I don't know if you heard of that quote, but it's true. Hurt people hurt people. So when somebody hurts us, it's not really us. It's their internal issues that they haven't resolved. They don't know how to love because they don't know how to love themselves, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like if you have like childhood wounds of anything, like you could heal, girl. We could all heal. And I say it because I've healed those wounds of mine, of feeling rejected and unworthy and not valuable, and because of those things I felt growing up, that's why I attracted the kind of ugly relationships I did, because I didn't see my self-worth. I felt unworthy. And like I said, like when we feel that type of way with ourselves, we're always going to attract experiences, people, partners that are the same, that they reflect back to us the same thing, because until we find ourselves and love those parts of us, then others will do it. And don't do it for others to love you. Maybe at the beginning you're gonna do it for that reason, but when you truly start having that relationship with yourself, and like, that things happen for a reason and that it's okay. You're not a victim for going through hard things like that. You realize that, like it's that you're good. Like your caregivers did the best they could with what they knew, and it's your turn to change that with your kids. Like, be the best version of you so you could be the best version for your kids as well. Okay. Now, some questions on purpose and confidence. What's my purpose and how do I even figure it out? Honestly, I feel like when we do the inner work, that's when that's when we find our purpose. Because like for me too, like I was like, for a while I was like, what is my purpose? And then I started questioning that for a long time until I figured out that I love people. I like to give. I like to add value to people. I like to motivate. I love to encourage. Like, I always had that in me since I was a kid, but I didn't know how to use it, especially like because I felt unworthy myself, so I didn't know how to be that. But I always felt inspired by people that love to motivate and help people, and I feel that way. So when I really went down that rabbit hole, I was like, and I fell in love with podcasts, I was like, I'm gonna start my own podcast. Maybe I can help women that way, with my story, with my experiences, my advice. Like, they could probably like help you guys. Like, I feel like it could help you guys in some way, and I hope it is helping you guys in some way, and that's why you guys tune in to listen to my crazy stories and stuff. But yeah, I feel like you figure it out by knowing what you like to do and what motivates you, whatever that looks like. Some people, they love baking, so if that's something you love, maybe that's your purpose. Maybe your purpose is children, so then maybe you wanna like work with children and or be a therapist, or if you love to help in that way, like whatever that looks like for you. I feel like when you go down those rabbit holes of what you truly love, that's how you find your purpose. Okay, next question. How do I build confidence when I've always struggled with low self-worth? What helped me, because I was that person for a long time, I started building confidence with myself by keeping my promises. And I have to put this out there, but doing 75 hard, I don't know if you guys heard of it, that has helped me to build that self-confidence with myself, because you put yourself in a or how do you say it? Like, that program helped me because the work you do by doing 75 hard, by drinking your water, you're doing your workouts, taking that progress picture, eating healthy, all those things, like, I never knew that, like, doing those things for a long period of time, and keeping my promise on finishing that program it helped me build the self-confidence and self-belief that I have now in myself. So if you, like, even if you don't do that, like, if you, for example, you could do it for 30 days. Okay, for 30 days, I'm going to not eat this, or, it really takes that keeping the promise to yourself. So if you tell yourself, okay, today, I'm not going to eat this because I told myself I wasn't going to have this, because you're working on your health or whatever, and really, like, doing it over and over and over again, though. It has to be for a long period of time. That's what builds self-confidence. It's that keeping your promise to yourself. And if you guys do 75 hard, trust me, it will transform you. But if you don't want to, like, you could do other things, but keep your promise to yourself, and you'll see how slowly you start building self-confidence. Yep. And okay, next question. Is it too late to reinvent myself or start something new? Oh, hell no, it's not, girl. It's never too late. I feel like we actually have to reinvent ourselves like every 5 years, because I feel like every 5 years we become a new person. Like we shed the old versions of us. And I feel like when we're in that shedding moment, we do grieve certain parts of us. We do feel like, oh, like I feel like I'm not myself anymore. Like this used to work for me and now it doesn't. I feel like when we feel that way, it's because we're going through a transformation process of like, okay, it's time to grow. It's time to be a different version of you. This version of you is not gonna take you to where you want to go. So it's time to do some inner work here. And I feel like when we do that, okay, I kind of had a brain fart. Let me see, what's the question again? Is it too late to reinvent myself or start something new? Yeah, it really isn't. Like, even for me, like, I still have my 9 to 5. I feel like when I entered my 35, that's when I started going through like this transformation point in my life. And that's when I did kind of fall into like a depression moment. But I didn't realize it was because I was changing into a new version of me, because I was entering, a new era of myself, I guess. I don't know. But I feel like it's actually a good thing to reinvent ourselves and strive for more and better. I feel like staying the same is not the deal. And whatever you want to start, like, I feel like it's never too late. Like, I never thought I would be a podcaster. I never thought I would be doing this. And here I am, almost 40. And here I am. I started the podcast at 39. I'm still 39, but it's like, wow, like, seriously, it's never too late. And yeah, you got this, girl. Okay, how do I stop playing small and start believing in myself? Again, it takes keeping your promise to yourself over and over again. And that's how you build self-belief, self-confidence, and self-love and self-respect. That's how we do it, girl. How can I stay motivated when I feel stuck? We will not always feel motivated to do things. Sometimes it gets boring, but if we know we have to do what we have to do to get to the other level, even if it's boring, you're gonna be like, you know what, like, maybe I don't feel like doing this today or whatever. It's boring. I don't have motivation. Sometimes we just need to rest. Honestly, like I said, learn to rest, not quit. And then sometimes we're so tired sometimes that we're burnt out, that we think, like, we just want to throw everything to the trash. Like, like, everything I've learned, fuck it. Like, I don't want it. I don't need it. But we act out of emotions. We act out of like how we feel in that moment, not knowing that, okay, maybe I just need to rest. Maybe I just need a cold plunge. Maybe I don't know, like, take a day off. But it doesn't mean take the rest of the week off. It doesn't mean take the rest of the year off. Learn to rest, not quit. Okay, let me see. Let's see how long we've been recording, guys, because, oh shit, hold on, because I lose track of time sometimes. Oh Lord. Okay, it's been an hour. Oh shoot. Hey, that's good though. That's good. Okay, I feel like we could keep. I have more questions, but you know what? I'm just gonna keep the rest for another episode. I feel like talking about this is one of my favorite things to talk about, because I feel like we all have these kind of questions as women. I mean, but I hope it helps you out in some way. And girls, don't forget, you guys are amazing. You guys rock. Keep going. Learn to rest, not quit. All right, girlies. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me, subscribe to the podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Don't forget. And yeah, follow me on social media if you want. Alma Bonita and Bonita Lifestyle Podcast. I'm there. I like to post, little reels here and there, to motivate, to inspire. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Bye, girls. Thank you. Bye.